In the beginning, God made the world. Everything was perfect. He made Adam and Eve, and they lived in a beautiful garden called Eden. They had everything they needed: food, animals, and each other. But there was one rule: God told them not to eat the fruit from a special tree, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. It was a simple rule, but it would test them in ways they never imagined. One day, while Eve was walking near the tree, a snake slithered out from the shadows. This wasn't just any snake, it was clever, sneaky, and had a voice. The snake whispered to Eve, "Did God really say you can't eat from any tree in the garden?" Eve looked at the snake and replied, "We can eat from any tree, but not this one. If we do, we will die." The snake's eyes gleamed. "You won't die. God knows that if you eat it, you'll be like him, knowing good and evil." Eve hesitated. The fruit looked so good, and the snake's words made sense. She reached out, plucked a piece, and took a bite. Then, she gave it to Adam, and he ate it too. Suddenly, their eyes were opened. They realized they were naked, and shame washed over them like a cold wave. They quickly sewed fig leaves together to cover themselves. As the sun set, they heard God walking in the garden. Panic gripped their hearts. They ran and hid among the trees. But God called out, "Adam, where are you?" Adam, trembling, replied, "I heard you and was afraid because I was naked, so I hid." God's voice grew stern. "Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree I commanded you not to eat from?" Adam pointed to Eve. "The woman you gave me, she gave me the fruit, and I ate it." God turned to Eve. "What is this you have done?" Eve, now filled with fear, said, "The snake tricked me, and I ate." God's heart broke. He loved Adam and Eve, but they had disobeyed. Turning to the snake, he said, "Because you did this, you are cursed. You will crawl on your belly and eat dust all the days of your life." To Eve, he said, "You will have great pain in childbirth, and your desire will be for your husband, but he will rule over you." To Adam, he said, "Because you listened to your wife and ate the fruit, the ground is cursed. You will have to work hard to get food, and one day you will return to the dust from which you came." God made clothes for Adam and Eve from animal skins. Then, he sent them out of the garden, away from the tree of life. He placed angels with flaming swords at the entrance to guard it, so they could never return. Time passed, and Adam and Eve had 2 sons, Cain and Abel. Cain was a farmer, and Abel took care of sheep. One day they both brought offerings to God. Abel brought the best of his flock, and God was pleased. But Cain brought some of his crops, and God was not happy with it. Cain's heart burned with anger. God saw Cain's anger and warned him, "Why are you angry? If you do what is right, won't you be accepted? But if you don't, sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, but you must rule over it." But Cain didn't listen. His anger grew like a storm. One day he asked Abel to come to the fields with him. When they were alone, Cain's jealousy took over, and he attacked Abel, killing him. God came to Cain and asked, "Where is your brother Abel?" Cain shrugged. "I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper?" God's voice thundered. "What have you done? Your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground. Now you are cursed. The ground will no longer yield crops for you, and you will be a restless wanderer on the earth." Cain cried out, "My punishment is too much. Anyone who finds me will kill me." But God, even in his anger, showed mercy. He marked Cain so that no one would harm him. And so Cain left, wandering the earth with the weight of his sin on his shoulders, forever separated from his family. Adam and Eve mourned for Abel, but life continued. They had more children, but the world was forever changed. Sin had entered, and nothing would ever be the same. If you want more videos per week, comment below, and we will try by the grace of God to create more content.